Hey guys, what's up? My name's Theo. I play middle linebacker for the Hilversum Hurricanes. That is in the Netherlands. That is in Europe. I'm playing Euroball. I'm an American. Been living here. Well, we're working on year 4 now. It's my 4th season with the team. So to catch you up, every Monday and Friday I do football-related content, but I do vlog every single day. So it's like gym, experiencing weird stuff within the Netherlands, like when we aren't under travel advisories. I do go around and look at stuff that's kind of interesting, and we're currently having pretty crappy weather, so it's a pain in the butt to leave my island, but yeah, at least I have a tram into the city center. But anyways, so yes, like I said, Mondays and Fridays are the reason why those days is because Thursdays and Sundays I have practice, and I put content out the day later. So Thursdays was an evening practice, so the Friday video was comment responses. Comment on one of these videos and I'll respond to it unless it's absolutely terrifyingly bad and derogatory. And then I do news about the leagues, or like the ELF, which last Friday I brought up something in the ELF and now I'm going to talk about it today. And then I would go out to practice. Not so much happening right now because we're on winter stop, which means for December we're not doing anything practice-wise. And then Sunday was day practice, so that was like 11 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. So that's just a whole day of football stuff, me going out to Hilversum on bus, transit, maybe recording stuff at practice, and then eating Tex-Mex on the way home, or when I'm on, yeah. So, but it's all weird right now because we have shops closing by 5, practices aren't happening. Thankfully, with this new regulations down, practice isn't going on, so it's not affecting much of anything. I can tell that the more recreational sports that happen for in the neighborhood here at my sport fields they do have to maintain the 1.5 meter or 6 feet distance. But with soccer, it's pretty easy to do that. And especially when you're doing outdoor fitness with a class on a turf field. Anyways, but with American football, it's a little hard. I've even talked to someone at my gym who does rugby, and they've just sort of said, we're just going to stop for the winter because it's cold, it's rainy, and we have the Montreal, and it's just how it goes. And I'm like, that's understandable. But many other sports are still around here. If you're playing a sport that isn't violently hugging people and throwing them to the ground, you can still do your stuff. But right now, at least in the Netherlands. But anyways, we're just going to move straight on to this video, and I already have it drawn up so you guys don't need to deal with it. And I made sure it was right. It is not to scale. So we're going to talk about what I found out in recent stuff, because I'm out of touch with the United States, and I didn't realize that the XFL was actually a thing, and that they had a weird kickoff rule, because I heard about the ELF, the European League of Football, and they're adopting a kickoff rule, and I read about that and went, what in the holy crap is that? And then when I started doing research on to figure out the rules, because the ELF wasn't giving out necessarily the rules, or it was in untranslatable German, I mean, it's all translatable. I just like to have Chrome automatically translate it. But anyways, and sometimes websites don't allow that. Anyways, so I found out that it was on the XFL. So I looked up those rules, and I'm going to explain it to you guys because it's stupid content. For those of you who may not know that the XFL has different rules, you can tell that the ELF is going to have different kickoff rules, and I personally don't like it, but that's my opinion, bro. Don't hate me. Okay, go ahead and hate me. Go ahead and flame me in the comments, but I really hope we don't pick up these rules. Okay, so as you guys can see, we're going to go over the key. The black is the field. Like I said, things are not to scale. Blue is the yard markers. As you can see, this is midfield. And then 1 team, 2 teams. It's red and green. I chose the wrong colors, but I probably should have chose blue and red. But then red and green, bad for my eyes. Anyways, so you have the kickoff team lines up on the opponent's 35. And you do your typical kickoff thing, and the kick returner jumps off it. Is off 5 yards. And again, you guys have probably seen this one for a couple years now, because the XFL, I've seen articles from 2020. So I didn't realize that the XFL, because I didn't watch any of the games. I did a reaction to their uniforms video, but I didn't watch any of the games, so I didn't know their kickoff rules changed, because I wasn't able to watch any of their games. But anyways, so the kicker lines up over on his side of the field, and he kicks the ball over here. So these guys can't move until the returner catches the ball or 3 seconds have passed. I know, because I thought to myself, I was like, okay, so if you don't, so it kicks, and they have to stay there, stationary, which it seems weird. So it seems weird that you would do something like that. I understand that this is all about safety, about getting people, to not have such high-speed collisions and all that jazz, that basically they're doing kind of their linebackers upon offensive linemen, basically, linebackers and running backs. But the distances here are similar to like an Oklahoma drill, rather than just gaining up to full speed, because not many people can gain full speed in 5 yards. Some people can do it in 10. Some people do it in 15. But this basically here kind of negates the concept of the 40-yard dash, because you're not needing to run from the 35 all the way down the field super fast. You're just going from here to there. And again, this is for safety. I get it, but it's weird. But it does help after a fashion. Teams and leagues that I've played with always put like the skinny receiver skill players on this. But with this distance, yeah, you can have some skill players, but you're much more beneficial if you want to put some linemen here that are good at actual blocking. Yeah, you can put them on your front line of the kick return, but if they're not very agile, it kind of sucks. I know this is not necessarily an NFL or any of the professional leagues, but so this kind of helps because the linemen can function on a kick return, and Mike linebackers. So, but they kick and you have to wait 3 seconds. Or the guy catches it, which means these guys, to an extent, might be reacting more than these guys are, which is funny. That's just how defense has to function. Offense knows exactly what's happening. Defense has to play off of that. So if he catches it, they know they can start running, and they need to, they can start running. Unless you can hear the sound, run, go. You can hear the ball being caught. Then you can go forward and hit your blocking guy. But it's not bad. I just think it's weird. But then again, that's also the thing about change. I made a joke in one of my videos, I think it was a football video, that the rules need to be tested. The rules need to be changed. The play style needs to be tweaked. Some things are good, some things are bad. And it's just like, here's a controversial opinion, that's evolution. If things do not benefit the organism or the sport, they fall to the wayside. But they got to be tried out first. It is a concept, and it was utilized in a few games in the XFL. And the ELF is going to be using it with their 12 teams next year. And we will see how this functions. If it is not good, if the fans are not liking it, if the whole of football is not better, despite the fact that it does have the merits of safety, it may not have the draw of the fans. It may not have the melee ability. It may not have the thing. Although there are many times where many teams, if they especially don't have a kicker or a good enough long-distance kicker, they will forego kickoffs all around. They will still do punts, field goals, PATs, but they will just forego kickoff. So that's pretty much that. Again, the returner, once the returner catches the ball, all that stuff, it's back to fair game, free rules. He gets to return as much as that. If it goes back into the end zone, they start at the 35, not the 20, or something like that. The ELF didn't do a good job explaining their rules. The kicker is the only player on the team. I'm going to put a link down below and up here in a card that will go to CBS Sports explaining this, and they have probably better charts and stuff. Again, I'm just figuring this out, so I'm telling my viewer base. The rest of the teammates is lined up on the opposing 35-yard line. The receiving team blockers are lined up just 5 yards away, and only the kicker and the returner are allowed to move before the ball is caught or is on the ground for more than 3 seconds. Once the returner has possession, every other player is allowed to move. The standard NFL practice for kicking for touchbacks have also been discouraged, as any kickoffs that go through the end zone will move out to the 35-yard line. So, yeah. The idea is I'm going to read this out loud. The XFL kickoff scheme reduces both the number of violent collisions and on the most dangerous play in football, while also ensuring that kickoff should have a return. Because that's pretty much, I have yet to see a game in the NFL like many games, as I have seen many games in the NFL, at least the initial kickoff is ceremonial. Rarely do they run it back. Later in the game when they need to, when their kicker may be tired or just various things, they'll probably run it back a bit more. But that very first one is no. Not saying it hasn't happened, but anyways, that's that. I hope this diagram helped you visualize what it is. I did not do a very good job at it, but again, I probably should have drawn what the other kickoff looks like. I will chat with you guys later. We'll see you guys on Friday if you watch for football videos. And my husband is leaving this week to go back to the States to visit family for the Christmas holidays, and I'm going to be home alone. So yeah, this next coming week for Normal Daily Vlogs is going to be weird. Yeah, but football videos will continue.